sit on your phone in it. I'm going to sit on it.
Oh, okay.
Craig, huge part of the Jaguars' success in our promotional materials
I
and
do
our
this.
marketing. And of course, where is she? Oh,
It's called Got
let's
Knowledge.
have a big round of applause for Jags with a Z on the end. Our dance. I also want to give a huge shout out. You know, there are a lot of people behind the scenes that you don't typically, see on game day. They're just quiet, but they're so important to this organization. And one of those people is Cindy Murphy. Our leading Hall of Fame. She is a genuine Hall of Famer. Someplace we all strive to go someday. So we're very blessed to have Cindy, and she is just a tremendous asset and person. Let's see, I don't want to forget anybody, because I'm going to go down the line. Chris, can you stand up? Chris redid our website. And then we've got Chris Thompson from the Salem Chamber. We are graciously invited into the Salem School District to speak on career days every year since 2022 as a result of Chris inviting us. And that's a huge honor for us to be able to be in that school district. So, Jackie Albrook is also with us. She is also with the Chamber, and she is a sponsor of Preston Whitfield, number 22. Michelle Ashley, can you stand up? Michelle Ashley from Michelle Ashley Custom Cakes. Huge source of support for us. Cake decorators. She brought those magnificent cupcakes for you, so make sure you get out there and get a cupcake before they're all gone. Akita. Everybody knows Akita. Akita has been a sponsor and a friend of the Jaguars since day one. And we are just so blessed for your friendship, Akita. We thank you for everything. Keontae Davis? Instrumental in all of our sponsorship and sales this season. Came on board and really helped put us on the map along with his father, Akita. So I want a special shout out to the Clark County Trash Bandits. Who will be joining the TBL and be one of our competitors in 2027, but they have been an immense support system for us. They've been to at least half of our home games traveling from Vancouver, Washington, and so we thank them for being here tonight as we celebrate the finale of our regular season. Kim, Jen, Bree, we met Kim, Jen, and Bree, their family, at Group Jam last year here right on the LBCC property, and they have just been another huge support system. Great fans, probably our #1 fans, so we appreciate you very much. We have family members of the players here. We have significant others and girlfriends. You know, we know how hard this
We started this league with $20 in our bank account, and today we can proudly say we have $24. So we've done really good. Along the way, we've gone through about $10 million. Building a league, building teams, investing in teams, and building something that's special. We'll be on TV next year. We've got a new team in Vancouver, Washington, building a new team in Tacoma next year, along this coach, and going to make it really cool. But the goal is to build something that is a community asset, something that your Willamette Valley will be proud to have in your market. The reason why they're special isn't because they're a great basketball team, because they're just good. They're not great. The reason why they're great is because they're so committed to the community. What they do in the community is unique. The clinics, the access, the visibility, the amazing dance team, the entertainment that they do. It's got to be bigger than just basketball. Basketball is just a game. And believe it or not, you can't tell, but I used to play
thank you guys so much for being here. Before I get started, I would like to acknowledge one person that we kind of forgot, and that is Jay. He makes sure that all our players are on the bench, get everything. Thank you, Jay. So now, will you join me in prayer so we can get this game started? Heavenly Father, as we gather for this final game for the Jaguars, we thank you for the strength, discipline, and unity that carried this team through the season. Thank you for every player, coach, trainer, staff member, family member, and supporters who stood behind this organization. Tonight, Father, we especially lift up the importance of mental illness and mental health, and for the teammates, help them to understand that true strength is not only physical, but also mental, emotional, and spiritual. Support one another, speak life into each other, and recognize when a teammate may need encouragement. Let this final game be a reflection of perseverance, growth, leadership, and character. May the fans leave inspired, the players leave encouraged, and the community leave united. In your name, thank you.
At this time, please rise and salute your caps for the flag of our national anthem. We are honored to welcome a special guest from the Army of the National Guard, Sergeant Kyle Stimson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now, introducing the starting lineup for the visiting Red County.
It's the final regular season game on TBL TV at Linn-Benton Community College, where the Jaguars take on the Tri-City Sun Devils, who are 3-11 overall, sitting at 4th in the conference, and the Willamette Valley Jaguars look to improve their 2-16 record and snap a losing streak before heading into the postseason against the Four Bears Roar. It's the Jaguars versus the Sun Devils and on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. We welcome you in. I'm Isaac Doobie alongside Devlin Christensen today, and Ashley Davidson, our sideline reporter, will join us in a moment. And obviously, Devlin, it's a big game for the Jaguars considering they have their first postseason appearance in their time as a franchise in the basketball league coming up next weekend, and just looking to stay hot, but getting this win tonight will be a little bit more difficult as they're not at full strength. They have Jerian Henry, who's their 6'10 big man, who is out with a foot injury, and then Preston Whitfield as well, who has been one of the leading scorers for most of the season, currently leads the team, averaging almost 23 points a game this year, was assessed his 5th technical foul and is suspended for this one today.
Well, some big losses for the Jaguars, but certainly a big opportunity for everybody else on the team and the real depth pieces to show up here for Willamette Valley in a game that's going to carry a lot of momentum going into their first postseason berth. These guys have a chance to prove themselves.
Well, the Jaguars coming into this one have an 11-game winning streak, and for some of the 11-game losing streak, and for some of the changes to the roster recently and some players that look to get some revenge on this Tri-Cities team, we send it down to the 3rd member of our crew, Ashley Davidson.
Thank you, Isaac. Yes, some of the players on the team are looking to get some last team rivalries going on, but what's been really cool about this atmosphere, our fans are absolutely excited, not only because it's the last home game of the regular season, but also because we get 2 familiar faces on the court once again with Josiah Thompson and Brandon Hansen. I spoke to them both before the game, and they are both absolutely thrilled to be back on the court with some of their former players like Davion, LJ, Troy, and Brandon said before the game that he feels like being on the Jags this season is long overdue. Josiah added on by saying that he's sad that he missed some of the earlier parts of the season, but is just happy to be back on the court. Isaac?
Thank you, Ashley. As the starters are out on the floor, a bit of a limited roster for the Sun Devils as they made the trip up from Washington this morning from the Tri-Cities, and are missing their leading scorer who's currently on the squad, averaging 20 points a game. No Jordan Young in the lineup, did not travel with the team today. But the starting lineup for the Sun Devils includes DeMonte Kyle, Julius Slinger, Shaquem Lakes, Javon Hancox, and the 32-year-old point guard Josh Sanchez, as there's a quick whistle.
Troy Mix Jr. wasting no time, getting right into the body of the defender. He's ready to have a big day.
And then starters for the Jaguars include Troy Mix Jr., who's a 30-year-old power forward from New Orleans, Louisiana, Davion Burdette, Tavion Johnson, Caden Leslie, and LJ Robinson. As Davion shakes a defender, leaves it off for Tavo, and Johnson gets 2 quick ones on the board for the Jaguars.
Well, in Davion Burdette's first start at home here at Linn-Benton Community College, that's a heck of a way to get the game started, just crossing the defender into the dirt and dropping it off for the big man.
Here's DeMonte Kyle, who's currently on the squad, 2nd on the team in points per game, averaging about 15. And a shot from Sanchez won't go for Tri-Cities. And the Jaguars taking their time. LJ just inside the arc on the wing. Out to the top to Troy Mix Jr. Burdette, step back, thought about a 3, dishes over to Leslie. Lobs inside for Mix, fadeaway jumper, bakes it in.
Good look from Troy Mix Jr. right there. Had the size matchup advantage, turned around into his favorite jumper.
And Troy has been warming up since about 1:30 today. We got here at about noon today, Devlin, because this game was supposed to start at 3. And Troy Mix was the first player here. So Davion Burdette getting started from the outside, the first 3 of the game for either squad.
Well, Burdette, as well as Troy Mix, one of those first guys in the gym. Troy loves to have that first in, last out mentality. You've seen it pay off early.
And then Hancox answers right back, currently leading this team in three-point shooting percentage, shooting over 44% this season. But Hancox has only played in 4 games for the Sun Devils, as Eldre trying to turn the corner on Sanchez, and a whistle and a foul. This will be going against Sanchez there on that drive. They say it's a reach-in, though. So wasn't on the shot. Won't be shots at the free throw line, but it is the 2nd team foul already for the Sun Devils. Leslie launches a 3 and buries it. 2 for 2 from beyond the arc to start. And the Jaguars come out hot with a 10-3 lead. Lakes gets inside, reverse lay-in, won't go. And Nix is there. He stands strong for the rebound. In this game on Wednesday between the Jaguars and the Sun Devils, there's another mid-range J from Troy Mix Jr. You can tell he had a lot of time to warm up. He started hot so far here today. He's got 4 points to lead this game. As here's a miss from Tri-Cities who won't go. Burdett to lead the charge. It was actually in the game on Wednesday, Tri-Cities who came out to an early lead. They led 21-4 in the first quarter. Just to start, as here's a steal from the Sun Devils, leading Hancock's up the floor, and it heads out of bounds. Last touch by Hancock's.
Good defense from Caden Leslie, and he's talking all the way back down the floor. He certainly earned it right there. The hustle back, keeping his hands involved, and forcing a turnover.
So the Sun Devils on Wednesday in that game in Mattawa, Washington, jumped out to a 21-4 lead in the first quarter. And here it's the Jaguars looking to make their mark early as Davion can't give the Jaguars a double-digit lead. 12-3 with 8.5 to play in the first. Sanchez into the lane. High off glass won't go. Johnson there to snare down the rebound. Burdett now. Gather move into the lane and lays it in.
Davion Burdett getting right into his bag. He's having himself a big day already. We haven't seen too much of him this year, but he's really shined in the moments he's gotten here in his first start at home. He's making his impact felt.
Already a double-digit lead for the Jaguars just 4 minutes into this one. Kyle attacks into the lane. Hook shot won't go. Lakes the follow. His won't go either. Burdett up the floor up to L.J. Robinson. We'll slow things down. Reset to the top for Troy Mix Jr. Averaging 8.5 points a game, and he launches a three and knocks it down. He's put out a statement earlier today in warm-up that he was going to try to break his three-point record that he set for this franchise, and he's on pace to do so. That's actually his first three-point make, but the Jaguars right now, 3 for 4 from beyond the three-point line. We will take a break as Coach Dion Orange for the Tri-Cities Sun Devils calls timeout. We'll be right back with the Jaguars out to a 14-point lead early. (17 to 3) the score with 7.5 to play in the first quarter at Linn-Benton Community College. Devlin, quite the barn burner on Wednesday between the Jaguars and the Sun Devils. Earlier this week on Wednesday, that one in Mattawa, Washington, the Sun Devils snapped a 7-game losing streak, took that one 124 to 120. It was also their first win over the Jaguars in franchise history. And for the Jaguars, it's their only loss of the season that was decided by less than 10 points. So a very competitive game that came down to the wire.
Competitive for certain, and it's really, really important for the Jaguars to have those type of games at this point in the season after you've secured a playoff berth now. it's really important to have those high level of competition games where it gets really intense. And even when you might not come away with the win, that experience is super valuable to a team to get meshed well and really just into it at this stage of the season.
The Jaguars this year, the only 2 games that have been decided by less than 10 points were against Tri-Cities. They have a 1-1 record in those games, that one win being the home opener here at Linn-Benton Community College back on March 13th. And then the one loss, the one on Wednesday, battle down low. Lakes comes away with it. Out to Sanchez, he'll let it fly and hit it. Both these teams shooting under 30% from three-point range this season, but starting hot, and Davion Burdette is red hot.
Burdette leading all Jaguars scorers right now. That's not something we've seen all season, but he's making his impact felt as a starter. The absence of Preston Whitfield, one of the primary scorer for this team, Burdette's picking up right where his teammate left off.
Hancock's with a long-range 3. That won't go. Johnson collects the rebound. It's his second rebound in this game so far. Burdette, strong drive and finish.
10 points already for Davy Burdette. Jaguars getting a hidden star off the bench.
This is his first game of the season in double digits, and he's already got it, not even halfway through the first quarter. Mix collects the miss, and Burdette will lead it down the floor, feeding the hot hand as he tried to thread the needle inside, but it's stolen away by the Sun Devils. Hancock's hands to Slinger. Now Kyle over to Sanchez. He puts it up off the heel. A great effort by Hancock's to get the rebound and lay it in.
So just the third make of the game for the Sun Devils so far, and that is the first one in the paint. Both prior makes coming from three-point long shots, so could be dangerous if Tri-Cities is able to get working in the paint.
Mix attacks and lays it in. The duo of Davion Burdette and Troy Mix Jr. have 19 points alone.
Just one miss between the two of them.
Sanchez over to Kyle. Straightaway 3 is on the money.
So for Tri-Cities, the 3 ball is certainly falling early. It's just about putting everything else together, defense included.
This Tri-Cities team is third in the basketball league in three-point attempts, averaging over 37 a game. And right now, the Jaguars able to work it inside to Johnson, and he gets 2 more on the board. A 15-point lead for the Jaguars in a very quick back-and-forth contest.
Well, Mix picking up the foul right there, but what a day he's had. He's up to 9 points, Burdette 10. And Troy Mix Jr. is somebody that we've seen score at a high clip all year, but Davion Burdette in his first start here at Linn-Benton Community College is really stepping up to the plate. He's got the most points for this Jaguars team so far.
Slinger at the top, lets it fly. Off back iron. Kyle there for the rebound, puts it back up. It heads out of bounds, last touched by Lakes down low. Possession to the Jaguars.
And with Jerry and Henry being out, we're talking a lot about the absence of Preston Whitfield, but the size hole that is left by Jerry and Henry sitting on the bench is huge and being recovered right now by Troy Mix Jr., who's got 5 rebounds already.
That foul will go against Slinger. Julius Slinger, his first personal, already the 3rd team foul of the quarter for the Sun Devils. It'll send Leslie to the charity stripe. Shooting just under 56% at the free throw line this year. Can't get the first to go. Coming off of a performance on Wednesday against the Sun Devils, he had 3 assists and a steal. Goes 1 of 2. Jaguars have a 16-point lead in this first quarter. That's more than their largest lead in that game on Wednesday. They led by 11 in the fourth quarter. Again, couldn't get that win as Johnson Jr. comes away with this rebound here and is fouled. 4th team foul now This one going against Sanchez. That'll be a second personal.
Well, gritty effort right there from Micah Johnson Jr. Climbing the ladder for the block on defense, getting the rebound himself after effecting the shot, and hitting the deck hard.
Burdett dancing over to LJ Robinson. He lets it fly. It's too strong, and Hancox collects the rebound. Sanchez to Hancox. Puts it up. Won't go. And Johnson Jr. able to control the rebound. Burdett inside quickly. Off glass won't go. Johnson gets it and puts it back up with the left hand.
Tavion Johnson's been a beast on the glass all season long, but today he looks comfortable out there, and he's found himself in the right spots. Jaguars out rebounding 10 to just 4.
Kyle launches and hits. Two of 4 for DeMonte Kyle from the three-point line. As here's a turnover by Burdett. Turnover number 2 for Davion, as this one is denied by Johnson. Some contact there. No whistle, though. And they'll play on. Robinson inside. Great find by Micah Johnson Jr. to LJ Robinson.
Well, Burdett has a couple of turnovers, but this Jaguars team right now, besides that, haven't turned the ball over. They've been really clean with it, and they're playing excellent team basketball.
Kyle hucks up a 3. It won't go. The Jaguars control again. Leslie launches. Too strong. Long rebound out to Johnson Jr. He'll try one. Again, too strong. And Lakes climbs the ladder for the rebound. Poked away by Burdett. The last touch by Davion as it heads out of bounds. It's a timeout, mandatory timeout on the floor. And we will step aside as the Jaguars have built a 17-point lead, 31-14. 2:12 to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back on Next Move Radio and TBL TV.
Thank you to our sponsors, Java, Eclipse, Roadies Trucking, and Great Creek for supporting our Jaguar fans.
The Jaguars clinched the postseason, the TBL postseason for the first time in franchise history. Next weekend, we'll be heading to the Four Bears, North Dakota to play Four Bears Roar. And for more on that, we send it down to our sideline reporter, Ashley Davidson.
Thank you, Isaac. Just like you said, the Jaguars are, in fact, playoff bound. Would you get a look at this nice little soda they have here down at the game? It's a very exciting time for the Jaguars. They'll be heading to North Dakota on May 29th. You can catch that game on TBL TV. Isaac?
That one rattles around and down for the Sun Devils. Tack on 2 more. Cut the lead to 15. Now that game, those series of games next weekend, it'll be a 3-game series. Best 2 out of 3. All of those games in Four Bears, North Dakota. They'll have to play the 23-1 Four Bears Roar, the only team that has beat Four Bears this season is the Sun Devils squad. Lakes will let it fly. Hancock's great effort, but it goes right to Thompson. Josiah Thompson seeing his first action as a Jaguar here at Linn-Benton Community College. Fadeaway jumper for Johnson Jr. won't go. Swinging around, Robinson fires a three. No good, and Slinger comes away with a board. Sanchez up the floor. Lobs over to Kyle. Minutes to go in the first quarter. Tough defense from Josiah Thompson. Over to Lakes. He puts it up and in. Now Brandon Hansen elects over to Thompson. He fades, rattles in and out. Hancock's trying to dunk it down, but it won't go. Lakes at the free throw line. His jumper won't go either. Robinson quickly up the floor. Inside, to the rack and in. Sanchez out to Kyle. He'll let it fly. Too short. Final seconds of the first quarter as that one swirls in and out. And the Jaguars come out with a statement in the first, 35-18 as we head to the second. We have a very special person in attendance today at Linn-Benton Community College in Albany, Oregon for this game. President David Magley of the Basketball League. Ashley Davidson is down on the sideline with him right now.
That's right, Isaac. I'm here with David Magley, president of the Basketball League. Now, you're down here all the way in the Willamette Valley watching Tri-Cities and the Jaguars have it out on the field, on the court tonight. What are you seeing so far? What do you like? How does it feel to be here?
Great dancers right behind us. A crowd that was patient because we had a little snafu to start the game slow. Started it late. Mary's done a wonderful job building this brand. The game is going off really good. They're competing really hard. We've got one of the best broadcast crews with you and Isaac and the group you guys do. One of the best in our league. And we are a showcase league. We'll see one of those women dance one day in the NBA. One of our players will be playing in the NBA, just like Lindy Waters is playing for the Spurs tonight, and we're going to watch you all on TV. And that's what our goal is to provide opportunities while we entertain all these wonderful fans. So it's pretty cool.
Definitely. And you mentioned before the game that this team is more than just basketball. What do you mean by that, and what have you seen so far?
Well, Mary's really committed to the community. She does the junior NBA stuff. She does free camps and clinics. She's involved in all the chambers. And your guys are really involved. They're engaged, big personalities. I mean, that's what makes us special. Our best product is our young men, and these are wonderful guys. We see them pound their chests and get mad, but we don't really realize how much fun they really are. And they're great role models for our community, and we're proud of them.
Definitely. Thank you, Mr. Magley. We appreciate all you do in the league.
You're doing a great
Thank you
job.
very much.
Thank you, Ashley. And thank you, President Magley, who's part of the family that started the Basketball League, with Evelyn, the CEO, who is the first female in men's professional basketball to own a league. And what Evelyn and David have done with all of the changes and adjustments that have been made to this Western Conference, it's pretty amazing how they keep the Basketball League going, support people like Mary, support teams. like Tri-Cities and the Jaguars to keep doing what they do and bring some affordable, family-friendly basketball to small towns like Albany, Oregon.
And it just keeps on growing, Isaac. We've been a part of this for just a couple of years now, and we've seen it grow so much. It means so much to the community here. It's just a great thing to have in a place like this.
Thompson to Johnson. Defended by Kyle. Tie up and a jump ball call. It'll be between Kyle and Johnson.
Well, great defense right there from DeMonte. Kyle got caught with a hand in there, but got it on the ball in time and just kept a paw on it. Tavion Johnson is not a weak guy, not somebody that's going to be easy to rip that away from.
So DeMonte Kyle is second on the team in scoring behind Jordan Young, the 24-year-old from Saginaw, Michigan, who is not in attendance here tonight, did not travel with the team. And so DeMonte Kyle's probably going to have to fill those shoes in order for Tri-Cities to keep up with this Jaguar squad that has come out red hot. Both teams have been very efficient to start this game. Jaguars with 3 turnovers, and the Sun Devils only with 1. On Wednesday, the last time these two teams met, there's a combined 39 turnovers. So keeping those turnovers low, and there's a shot clock violation. So they'll reset. We'll take a moment to reset. And I think that's a big key, Devlin, is keeping those turnovers low for both squads. Both teams have had a bit of an issue this year in taking care of the ball. But, I mean, when your first shots are falling the way they were for both these squads, it's pretty easy not to turn over the basketball.
Certainly. Turnovers have been a big weakness for Willamette Valley this year. In any game that the turnovers really get out of hand, so does the score. So
this one nearly stolen away by Johnson Jr., and it was because there's a foul assessed on Hancock's. It's a reach-in on Hancock's, and that is Javon Hancock's second personal of the game, as Josiah goes strong to the rack and lays it in off glass.
Thompson getting his first bucket back on the Jaguars in just around a year. He sure is happy to be back here playing in Willamette Valley.
The lead has grown to 19. Black with his first shot attempt of the day. It won't go. And Hansen steps on the line. They'll say he's out of bounds. So possession to Tri-Cities. Kyle with a hesitation in the lane. Lays it in.
Making it look easy right there.
Felt like he had the mismatch on Micah Johnson Jr. and just put him in the spin cycle there. Mix Jr. lets it fly. It won't go. And Gutierrez is there to track down the miss. Kyle thought about it. Inside. This one's stolen away by Hansen. Up to Thompson. Reverse lay-in. High off glass. Juice Thompson with the acrobatics. This one looked like it got blocked by Johnson Jr. That shot from Wild. Down the floor, Johnson Jr. can't collect it. There's a turnover there. And Brandon Hansen says that one's on me.
Yeah, Hansen trying to thread the needle right there. Got it to the fingertips of Johnson, but not in the palm where he could really grab it. Almost a highlight reel pass.
10 for Burdett, 9 for Troy Mix Jr., and 8 for Tavion Johnson. To start for the Jaguars, DeMonte Kyle leading the way for Tri-Cities with 10. Here's Hansen looking to get into the scoring mix. He's been held scoreless today, and it'll stay that way as Gutierrez comes away with it. Down the floor. This one intercepted. But a kickball violation.
Johnson Jr. was in prime position to run some highlight reel fast break with two teammates out in Mix and Thompson, but led with the leg on the steal, so it's going to stay with the Sun Devils.
Substitution for Tri-Cities as Lucas Black and Bryson Wild check out, as well as Nick Gutierrez and Lakes Slinger And Hancock's step back onto the floor for Tri-Cities. Inside, there's Hancock's with a lay-in. Messiah Ford in the corner. Elects over to Johnson Jr. He fades, can't hit, goes for his own board, and then crashes into Slinger.
Well, just a bit of player control right there. Micah Johnson Jr. felt the miss off the hand, was determined to get it back. You love to see that hustle, but not necessarily when they're hustling through another player. Jaguars pick up their first foul of the quarter on the offensive end.
Julius Slinger is definitely a player to watch in this one, Devlin. Only player in this game that's above 6'8", stands at 6'10". You got to imagine that at some point Tri-Cities is going to try to take advantage of the mismatch down low as Jarian Henry's out, and he's their tallest player for the Jaguars that does a lot of the dirty work down low. He's matched up here on Hansen. Inside, denied by Hancock's. And this one's rejected, slapped away by Hansen, and Josiah Thompson scores on the other end. Back and forth action. Both teams at hyper speed as Sanchez nails a three.
Well, Sun Devils thriving off the energy that Willamette Valley had just been putting out. A couple turnovers right there, but it also ended in some good looks for them. Willamette Valley is going to benefit the most from set half-court basketball here with a 14-point lead.
Hancock's tracks down the miss off of a Troy Mix three. Inside to Slinger. Matched up on Hansen and then throws it away. Ford up the floor. Attacks. Inside. Can't get it to go. And Lakes boxes out for the rebound. And then he throws it off Juice Thompson and it heads out of bounds. One thing that Coach Mary Stade mentioned, the head coach for the Jaguars, before this game, Devlin, when I talked to her, she said that the addition of Brandon Hansen and Josiah Thompson have really brought a lot to the defensive energy on this team, and you can see it on the last few possessions.
They really play on the same page of just pushing the pace for the benefit of the Jaguars, and it might be a little chaotic at times, but we sure are seeing that energy show up.
Man, the pace of this game has just been unbelievable, hard to keep up with. Even harder to describe. Sanchez trying to turn the corner on Burdette. Strong to the rack. Able to lay it in off glass. Cuts the lead to 12. Inside 7 minutes to go in the first half. And there's an offensive foul and a charge. Mix went right into the body of Sanchez. And Sanchez gets the call for the offensive charge.
Well, just maybe a bit too much extension on the arm there. Defender certainly wasn't set, so they're calling it player control on Mix. But that certainly just looked like a case of a bigger body going right through a smaller one.
Hancock's controlling the tempo. He'll put it up and hit. Give Javon Hancock's 10 points and his second three-pointer of the day. Thompson to Johnson. He'll let it fly from the elbow. It won't go, and then a fight on the rebound and a whistle against Troy Mix Jr. That's Mix's third personal already.
That's going to be a problem for Willamette Valley. Guy that came in and hadn't missed his first 4 shots is up to 9 points, but also 6 rebounds. 3 fouls early for Mix Jr. could pose a problem. Him being the tallest player listed for Willamette Valley. Tavion Johnson right behind him at 6'7", but there's certainly a height drop-off after that for the Jaguars, so Mix has to stay out of foul trouble.
There's a mandatory timeout on the floor, the first of the second quarter, and we will step aside and take a break. But we'll be right back as the Sun Devils have cut the Jaguars' lead to just 9. Nick Gutierrez draws a foul at the and heads to the free throw line. So we're almost halfway through the second quarter. The Jaguars lead 41-33 as Gutierrez connects on the first attempt at the free throw line. Gutierrez shooting 50% at the free throw line this year. And there he goes, a perfect 2 for 2 to start his day. Thompson tries to feed Johnson down low, ends up in Robinson's hands, but he can't connect on a 3. This one thrown at the feet of Hansen, and it will be a kickball violation. You can just see it, the activity defensively for both Josiah Thompson and Brandon Hansen. It's definitely making an impact, especially in the opponent just trying to get the ball into the front court.
Yeah, their backcourt defense has been excellent so far, just being pests. As you see Thompson jump on the ball handler right there. He's going to pick up a foul, but just getting a hand in there, staying attached to the hip of that defender, and making him think every second. You don't want to give these ball handlers for Tri-Cities really any opportunity to breathe for a moment, and that's what we're seeing from Josiah Thompson and Brandon Hansen so far.
It's Thompson's second personal of the game, and the 4th team foul for the Jaguars in this second quarter. Lakes around 2 screens. Tries to find Slinger, gets it to him. He'll fade, but it's way short. Burdette, step back 3. No good. And it heads out of bounds. It'll go to Tri-Cities.
Well, despite a long seat on the bench, Burdette does still lead all Jag scorers, 4 for 7 from the floor. He's got 10 points as well as 3 assists. So he's doing a great job so far. That shot didn't connect, but it was certainly a good look for Willamette Valley. They need to kill some of that momentum for Tri-Cities.
Tri-Cities looking to make this a 2-possession game after they were down 19 in the first. Sanchez behind the back throws it right to Brandon Hansen. Numbers for the Jaguars. Over to Robinson. He can't lay it in. Hancock's buries a three. And there's a timeout for Coach Stade as Caden Leslie is writhing in pain over on the Jaguars sideline. See what happened, but it looks to be his ankle.
Looked like the left ankle. Playing some defense, came down right there awkwardly. He certainly tried to walk it off for a moment under the hoop, trying to get back on offense with the rest of his team. And then when the moment that Slinger and the Sun Devils took the ball back down the floor, started to almost set up like he was going to be able to play some defense, but decided it wasn't possible right then, fell to the floor. Gotta hope he's okay right now.
The Sun Devils turn it into 3 points. It's now a 4-point game. What was a 19-point advantage for the Jaguars. We step aside, but we'll be right back on CBL TV and Next Move Radio. Well, there's a few players on this Jaguars squad who are quite familiar with the Tri-City Sun Devils. Troy Mix Jr., Brandon Hanson, and Josiah Thompson all were signed and spent time on the Tri-City Sun Devils roster competing with them this year, but all of them were released, with Josiah Thompson just being released earlier this week and now signing with his former team, the Jaguars, who he played with last year.
Well, it really just speaks to the culture that the Jaguars have here. Guys play here, and sometimes other opportunities come up in between seasons. Never any hard feelings, because when you come back to Willamette Valley, you're still part of the family. And Josiah Thompson, Brandon Hanson, just getting here within that last week or so, and Troy Mix Jr. have been around here for a month now. Just happy to be back, and you see the same thing with every guy that makes his way back to Willamette Valley. Just happy to be here, happy to be back engaged with this community. But for some of these guys, anytime you're playing a former team, it's going to light a fire under you. Some of what we've seen from Troy Mix Jr. to start this game, that high intensity, high level of competition, really showing up for these former Sun Devils, now turned Jaguars.
I think the most interesting journey this year has got to be Brandon Hanson, who was on the 2025 roster the entire season for the Jaguars last year. Played in 17 games, led the team in assists and steals last year, and then came to Jaguars training camp, didn't make the team, signed with Tri-Cities, and then got cut by Tri-Cities, signed with the Red Tails, got cut by them, and then eventually ends up back with the Jaguars as he can't connect on a mid-range J. Robinson gets the miss, attacks the lane, and then draws a foul. So he'll head to the foul stripe.
Looked like DeMonte Kyle caught him on the way up right there. This will be big for Willamette Valley. Just give LJ Robinson, a 66% free throw shooter, a chance to get a couple of cool ones at the line. Jaguars giving up a big scoring run right now. 13 points. So the Sun Devils have really climbed back into it after the Jaguars started this. The 19-point lead. They really just need to see a couple of the easy ones go down.
We send it down to Ashley with an update on Caden Leslie.
Thank you, Isaac. Caden Leslie went down just right before that timeout. One of his teammates, Jurian Henry, actually called the timeout, seeing that he was in so much pain on the court. He was on the medical table just earlier and looking to be okay. He was joined by his wife and child, as well as Dr. Barry Jerkins, one of the managers on the team, who said a quick little prayer with him, and now he's getting some exercises in. Hopefully we'll see him back on the court later this game. Isaac.
Thank you, Ashley. Mix Jr. up the floor, mid-range J rattles in.
For Troy Mix Jr., that's a layup. You just can't give it to him plain and simple. He took a moment right there, almost surprised that the Sun Devils, who he played for, are giving that up.
He now leads the Jaguars with 11 points, and he collects the miss here. That's rebound number 7 for Troy Mix Jr. As Bradley quickly into the lane, flips it up and in.
Zion Bradley getting his first minutes of the game. Another one of these guys that's really bided his time on the bench so far this season, coming in crucial moments, but getting an opportunity here to shine.
Sanchez hangs in the air and lays it in. Quick offense from both squads. Step through for Davion Burdette, and he's got it off the glass.
What a nice move from Davey. It was clean to create the open look.
Sanchez denied, and Robinson collects it. What a defensive stand by the Jaguars. Robinson up the floor. Will put it up. It rolls off the rim. Offensive rebound and a foul. This looks to be, it's on Johnson. It's on Tavion trying to fight for that offensive board.
Really just skying for that one, but a bit too much contact on the way down. Kind of just bad luck right there from Tavion Johnson. If you're head coach Mary Stage, you want to see that effort from your star every single time.
Inside 3 minutes to play in the first half. Kyle has it on the wing. Sizing up Johnson. Step back long two is off the front of the rim. Robinson, no hesitation. Out to Bradley. Pump fake. Defers to Robinson. Inside. He gets it to fall.
Great court vision right there from Zion Bradley. Saw the bait at leaving Troy Mix Jr., quote-unquote, open at the top of the key. There was a defender waiting to slide into that passing lane. He waited a moment, found Robinson down low for two.
Hancock's lobs for Sanchez, bodying his way through Burdette, and he lays it off the window. Back to a single-digit game, 9 points, the lead for the Jaguars inside 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Mix floats it up and in, and Troy Mix Jr. is letting him know about it.
Mix fired up right now. This is that former team kind of passion that you're seeing.
Numbers for the Jaguars. Robinson. A foul on Hancock's as he went up with it.
Well, you don't see too many people jumping with LJ Robinson, so honest props to Javon Hancock's right there, going up with the big man, ready to jump and ready for whatever happened next. Instead, he's going to send him to the line for 2 shots.
So Preston Whitfield, who is not playing tonight because he was assessed his 5th technical foul on Wednesday, leads the team in a lot of different categories, including points, field goal percentage, and free throw percentage. But LJ Robinson has only played 5 games with this Jaguars squad, but is already 2nd and 1st in a lot of those other categories. Currently leading the team in rebounds per game, averaging over 7 a game. 2nd on the team in assists per game, averaging over 3, and then 22.5 points per game, which is 2nd on the team. He gets his own miss after the 2nd attempt at the charity stripe, and he'll be going back as there's a foul on Kyle, who swipes up high.
Robinson caught one in the face right there, in the eye. No review here in TBL. This is the kind of thing that if there's enough of a windup, gets called a flagrant one. It appears it's going to stay a common foul on the floor. But that possession doesn't stay alive right there without the effort from Tavion Johnson, just clawing his way across 2 defenders in the paint to tip it out. LJ Robinson fighting to keep it alive as well and going right back at the cup.
He's 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Currently has 8 points. He's coming off of a season-high performance on Wednesday where he had 36, shot 13 of 18 from the floor, and was 5 of 7 from long range. Those 5 3-point makes, a season high as well. Of course, played with the Jaguars last year, played 9 games with them, and also averaged over 20 a game that year, almost 21 a game. And this time he goes 2 of 2 at the charity stripe. Give him 10 points, 3 Jaguars in double digits. And now Tri-Cities needs a response, down by 14. Sanchez inside will cut into the lead.
First bucket, couple minutes for the Sun Devils. Willamette Valley's taking control back of this game. Got to close it out with a strong last minute.
Robinson takes his time. Johnson back to the basket with 8 to shoot. And a pushing foul called against Hancock's. Never mind, that's on Sanchez.
Definitely not happy with it. Seemed to be plenty of contact from up here. You don't see a big body like Tavion Johnson move in that way too often. And when you do, it's because he got hit hard enough.
Sanchez's 3rd personal of this game. Puts Johnson at the free throw line, shooting just over 51% at the line this year. Johnson has scored 10 or more points in 4 of the last 5 games. And he has got double figures again. He's matched up here defensively against Slinger. But Kyle, his pull-up jumper won't fall. 45 seconds to play in the second quarter. Mix between the legs. Over to Johnson. He punches it down with 2 hands.
Tavion Johnson rising up, straight vertical right there, climbing the ladder on 6'10", Julius Slinger.
Sanchez can't answer with a 3. Inside 30 seconds to play in the first half. Robinson quickly into the lane, leaves it off for Johnson again. He'll slow things down over to Burdette. Crossing over, step back 3. Too strong, and Kyle tracks it down. Shot clock turned off inside 10 seconds to play. Over to Gutierrez, and Gutierrez kisses it off the window for 2 in the foul.
Great put up right there from Gutierrez, going up into the contact, doing so, but leaving some time for Willamette Valley. Thought they might have saved for the last shot, but trailing by 14 points. Could cut into it, make it 13 right here. Sun Devils need every easy opportunity they'll get.
Sun Devils a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line as this one's denied. But Robinson gets the miss inside and lays it in. 0.3 left. Over to Wild, and he's capped. I'm not sure he got it off in time anyway. But 61-46, the halftime lead for the Jaguars. And they will head into the locker room with a double-digit lead, led by as much as 19. And wow, what a first half for Willamette Valley. Quite the performance you want if you're trying to snap an 11-game losing streak like they are and just build a bit of momentum and confidence heading into the postseason.
Certainly, this team is fired up right now and got 4 scorers in double figures, all in that starting lineup, as well as some key performances affecting off the bench. So the Jaguars are doing exactly what they need to.
Well, for Tri-Cities, their head coach, Travis Massengale, did not travel with the team, but their assistant coach, Dion Orange, is in attendance, and Ashley Davidson is with him down on the sideline. Each team with 7 turnovers in the first half, and the Jaguars with 4 players in double figures, as well as the Sun Devils with 3. We step aside for halftime, but we'll be right back in about 10 minutes for the second half at Linn-Benton Community College, here where the Jaguars lead 61-46 over the Tri-City Sun Devils. It's the Jaguars' first halftime lead at home this season, and it's a double-digit advantage over the Tri-City Sun Devils, 61-46, as we come back for the second half of action on CBL TV and Next Move Radio. We're waiting Ashley Davidson and Coach Mary Stade down on the sideline. We'll have an interview in a moment, and they're ready. We're going to send it down to them right now. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Coach Stade. Devlin, you said this a few weeks ago, earlier this season. You mentioned how Coach Mary Stade came in midway through last year, and it turned in her first game as head coach when she took over, turned into the Jaguars' first win in franchise history, and it felt like it's destiny. And through everything she's done now this year, taking over as a team market owner for all of her ideas for growth, for bringing in the community, and many of the sponsors that we have and who support this team. It's just amazing, and it's really felt like destiny, and just she's done it with so much grace and elegance and an incredible amount of passion.
Absolutely. You can just tell how much she cares about the sport. She loves basketball. She loves coaching. She loves the experience she's getting with these guys. But more importantly than that, she loves community. And that's what it's all about here. You talk about the sponsorships she's brought in and the way she's been able to grow the Jaguars this year. And so much of that is done not through any selling of some on-the-court product like you're seeing on the block from Tavion Johnson, but more the connections that she's made with the people in this community here in Albany.
Robinson out to mix, pump fakes, drives. Out to Robinson. He lets it fly and hits. Fifth three-point make of the day for the Jaguars.
That ends a long three-point drought. The Jaguars have made 4 of their first 5 from deep, and have missed 12 straight. So L.J. Robinson getting them back on track.
This one's stolen away by Burdette. Jaguars looking to run away with this one in the third. Burdette dancing over to Leslie. Back in the game, and he nails a 3.
Leslie had to take a long seat on the bench after hurting his ankle earlier. Up to 7 points so far. He's the only Jaguars starter short of the double-digit mark, and he's well on his way now.
Back on Wednesday against the Sun Devils, the Jaguars had an 11-2 run to make it a 3-point game, and here so far, they've come out firing, nailing 2 threes to start the quarter.
You talk about a 3-point drought that they had a moment ago and having that ended really quickly. A big part of that is just having Caden Leslie in the game. His 3-point gravity is huge. That's just his second of the day, but it's because he's really only gotten to play 12 minutes so far.
It's Hancock's and Robinson in a jump ball situation, and Robinson wins the battle. But this one heads out of bounds. Johnson's pass for Burdette is high. Burdette has to collect it out of bounds. There's a turnover there. Turnover number 9 on the day for the Jaguars. Kyle pump fakes, steps back. Short on the 3. And Robinson grabs it. Burdette pushing the tempo. Rips down the baseline, over to Mix Jr., short on a three, and Hancock's leaps for the rebound.
Hancock's skying for that one. We've seen a lot of that athleticism from him so far today as an undersized guard. Sure is a heck of an athlete.
Sanchez rises and can't hit the pull-up jumper through contact. Now Leslie off the mark, and Slinger collects it. This one turning into a track meet. Now Sanchez dancing his way, spinning inside over to Slinger. And an offensive foul.
Had his heel out of bounds right there. When you're a big man stretching the floor, you often got big feet. Right there, Julius Slinger had his heels on that out of bounds line.
Well, this ties the Jaguars' largest lead of the day. A 6-0 run to start the quarter. And they're looking to get their largest lead, extend this largest lead of the day to over 20 points, but a turnover make it number 10 for the Jaguars. Allow the Sun Devils an opportunity to get back in this one.
So the Jaguars plus 11 in the rebounding margin right now over a team that has the bigger player on the floor in 6'10", Julius Slinger. So these guys have really been battling down low, and the three tallest players on the floor for Willamette Valley have been going to work.
Kyle can't get it to go, but Lake's on the follow and puts it back.
10 rebounds, 13 points, a double-double for Troy Mix, 8 boards for Tavion Johnson, and 7 for L.J. Robinson. So these guys are really filling that void left by the big man, Jerry and Henry.
Mix Jr. around a Johnson screen, defers over to Burdette, who gives to Robinson. He puts it up, rolls off the rim, and Hancock's is there to track down the miss. Sanchez in the corner, leaning three. He knocks it down.
Sanchez's third triple of the game so far. Makes it the 9th of the day for Tri-Cities. So the Jaguars came out hot from deep. Tri-Cities has really made that their game today.
Robinson gets aggressive. Now kicks outside. Burdette, elbow jumper is good.
Burdette just smooth operating today out of that point guard role. Not the starter all season long, but he's really made his impact felt.
And you see it there defensively, too. Getting around the body there, getting a piece of that one. And here's a mandatory timeout. As we will step aside as the Jaguars, a 16-point advantage here at home. They've led this entire game. And we will step aside inside 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Jaguars looking to improve to 3-16 overall this year and snap an 11-game losing streak, which is their longest since 2024 when they were the Emerald City Jaguars. Quick three from Kyle won't fall. Burdette lobs for Johnson. It's over his head and out of bounds.
Just a miscommunication right there.
Turnover number 11 for the Jaguars, and turnover number 4 for Burdette. He's shown off some efficiency, 6 of 10 from the floor with 14 points. Also, just a few mistakes mentally, and still developing some chemistry with these guys as he doesn't play a whole lot of minutes this year. But has certainly made the most of his start today. Troy Mix Jr., elbow jumper, won't go. Hancock's quickly up the floor to Sanchez. He gets the angle and lays it in. Burdette looking for some help. Dancing, firing, and hitting.
He is just silky smooth, getting into that mid-range. We've seen a couple of those jump shots from Burdette today, and they just look cool, calm, and collected. He's been great.
He leads the Jaguars with 16 points, as well as 5 assists. Doing a little bit of everything offensively. Troy Mix Jr. in and out. Hancock's up the floor. To Sanchez, to Gutierrez. It won't go the first time, and he draws some contact to the foul.
Tough break right there for Troy Mix Jr., but just great awareness right there from Gutierrez, getting into that body, into that arm of Mix, reaching across. Something that I've been interested in the last couple possessions was Troy Mix and Tavion Johnson battling for a rebound a moment ago despite being on the same team. Mix, the first player today for the Jaguars to get a double-double. But with both L.J. Robinson and Tavion Johnson 2 rebounds away, Tavion Johnson now 1 rebound away from a double-double. Seems that there's a little bit of a inter-Jaguar competition right here on the glass.
Here's Gutierrez at the free throw line, 24-year-old from Pasco High School. Coming off of a season-high 12-point performance on Wednesday against the Jaguars. He's got 7. He goes 2 of 2 at the line. Burdette lets it fly, and it won't go. Hancock's there to track down the miss. Sanchez dishes. Kyle attacks. Finger roll lay-in.
It's really the first true drive we've seen from DeMonte Kyle today. We've seen a lot of post-up action from him, a lot of catch and shoot.
Troy Mix penetrates the defense and lays it in off the glass.
Mix up to 15 points now. He's the 4th Jaguar to hit that mark, and this starting lineup for Willamette Valley has just been on today.
Sanchez buries a 3. Their 10th three-point make of this game. And they answer right back. Now Burdette crossing over. Underneath, there's a foul down low. That follow from Johnson won't count, and Burdette will head to the free throw line.
Well, good move from Burdette into the lane, getting up into the body and across the defender in the paint, using that reverse to his advantage. And might not have counted, but Tavion Johnson certainly getting the fans excited here. That putback jam.
16 points to lead the Jaguars. That's his first free throw attempt of the day. He's shooting over 83% at the free throw line this year. Goes 1 of 2 as he connects on the second. Again, 5 assists to lead the team. In his first start as a Jaguar, as this one rolls out of bounds, last touched by Burdette. That one ricocheted off of his leg. Still Sun Devils possession as they look to cut into a 12-point deficit. And what great defensive effort by Burdette. I think the most impressive thing, Devlin, that we haven't really seen from anybody on the Jaguars this year is the assists and being able to facilitate as well as Burdett has done today. 5 assists. As a team, the Jaguars have 12 assists in this game. They're a team that only averages about 16 a game on the season. As Gutierrez knocks down another 3, and it's a single-digit game. The Jaguars have jumped out to multiple 19-point leads, and the Sun Devils have found their way to claw back. 9-point game at Linn-Benton Community College as we step aside and take a break. We have an update from Ashley Davidson down on the sideline. I think when the Jaguars have gone on their runs, it's been a lot of quick possessions, shots that they've taken quickly into the shot clock, which usually hasn't worked out for them in sort of increasing the tempo. Lakes with his back to Thompson in the lane, puts it up, and a shot clock violation as that didn't touch the rim.
Yeah, I think Willamette Valley has done a good job so far today in scoring quick and getting ahead in that shot clock, not letting it get too low, taking the first good look they see. But really that isn't what's worked out for them all season long. And so it's important to find the balance between getting set in a half-court offense and knowing a good look when you have it.
Johnson Jr. off back iron. This one swiped away by Thompson. Great defense there. Tried to get the foul call, but it's a travel. Refs are letting him play today, and that time Thompson tried to draw the contact, and it didn't work out for him.
Certainly a lot of contact right there, and Thompson just as surprised as the rest of us here, but good awareness from DeMonte Kyle right there. Get up in the body, apply that pressure in the backcourt.
Ball loose on the floor. Robinson ends up with it. Numbers for the Jaguars. Out to Thompson. Takes his time. It won't go forward. Tips it back in.
Messiah DeAnthony Ford getting on the glass for his first points of the day. Just like that, all but 2 Jaguars have scored in today's contest.
And this one's going the other way as Lakes lost it out of bounds. Great drive there. Just lost it on the handle there. Floor might be a little slick down there, too. It looked like his feet just gave out from underneath him. Back to a double-digit lead for Willamette Valley. Inside, Johnson ensnared, and a travel.
Frankly, I am very surprised the official had a good enough view of his feet to call that right there. With 3 bodies in there all swiping away at the ball. Davion Johnson had to fight, couldn't get the call.
Slinger with his back to Ford, flips it up and in.
Finally taking advantage of that height matchup. Slinger being the tallest on the floor, had a 6'2" defender on him. Finally got to it for the first time today.
Robinson underneath the basket, puts it up, and it's denied. Sun Devils in open lane to the basket. Gutierrez lays it in. Now a 7-point game. 1.5 to play in the third. As the Sun Devils have withstood the punches. And Johnson Jr. will draw the foul here and head to the free throw line. Looking for his first points of the day.
Johnson Jr., good for about the 3rd best scorer on this team, averaging 13.5 points per game. Really hasn't been able to see one go down so far today. Just taking a handful of shots, 0 for 5 from the floor so far, making his impact felt on the defensive end, stealing a block, as well as a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. So he's been making his part felt despite just getting into the scoring column for the first time.
The one thing he has been doing very well lately is rebounding the basketball, averaging 8 rebounds a game over the last 5 games. He's also recorded a steal in all but 3 games this year. And here, great defensive effort, but he had it out of bounds as he tipped that one to Ford, but he was touching the sideline, they say.
Tough break right there, but you love to see that effort from Micah Johnson Jr. toeing the sideline. You saw him adjust the feet. Just a bit too far out of bounds to actually make a play on that one.
And the Sun Devils players who were on the team last time they played the Jaguars here know him very well because he hit the shot that gave the Jaguars the lead for good about halfway through the 4th quarter in the Jaguars home opener back on March 13th. Inside, Slinger, can't go. And Robinson with a great rebound. Robinson to Johnson, 2-handed flush, too easy for Tavion Johnson.
Tavo packs it home. LJ Robinson getting his first assist of the day. He's got a 15-point double-double, 10 rebounds as well.
Now 17 points and 9 rebounds for Tavion Johnson on a very efficient 7 of 8 from the floor as there's a whistle.
Looks like Ford picked up the foul right there as Sanchez was getting into the lane. It is the 5th foul on the Jaguars, so it's going to be 2 shots at the line for Josh Sanchez, who's shooting 58% from the line on the year. First shots of the day.
The leading scorer today for Tri-Cities, 22 points, 9 of 20 from the floor, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Coming off of a season-high performance with 13 points on Wednesday against the Jaguars. Also had a season-high 5 free throw makes and 6 free throw attempts. As he goes 1 of 2 here. 9-point game. Inside 30 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Robinson can't finish, but Johnson gets the miss. Thompson fades. It rattles around and out, but Johnson Jr. tips it back out to himself. Thought about a shot. Over to Johnson, goes up with it. Can't get it to go, but a foul.
Huge possession right there from Willamette Valley to really just keep it moving the whole time. There was a lot of opportunities where players got a rebound, had a chance to take it themselves, but just great, cool, calm, and collective just conscience all around to keep it moving and keep trying to find the best look possible. And with the shot clock dwindling down at the end of the quarter, it's easy to panic in a moment like that, but ends up in Tavion Johnson getting 2 free throw shots.
So give Johnson a double-double today. 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks as well. He was, earlier this season, top 10 in the TBL in blocks. Currently leads the team, averaging over 1.4 blocks a game.
Just over a block a game, but Isaac, I swear that every block Tavion Johnson has is just as much of a highlight reel rejection as you can ask for.
Short on the second one, but gets his own miss. Inside 10 to shoot. He got it in. Drives down the lane and finishes. Kyle has got to put it up quickly. Attacks. Can't get it to fall. Slinger can't put it back in time. They're saying they count the basket.
This is going to be overruled almost immediately.
Is that counting the goaltend? Are they saying that the shot by Kyle on the finger roll was a goaltend? They must be, because it did not seem like there was a chance that Slinger got that off in time.
Slinger most definitely did not. He looks like he's at the free throw line ready for it. I mean, he was on the ground when the clock expired. And it looks like they're going to count it and give him another shot.
The entire Jaguars bench is in disbelief. Slinger can't hit the point after. And heading into the fourth quarter, it'll be a 9-point game. Jaguars leading by 9, entering the fourth quarter. Another tight one between Tri-Cities and the Jaguars. Nothing new in this rivalry. We'll be back on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. Well, Jarian Henry is staying busy on the sideline, even though he's not playing in this game. And for more on that, we send it down to Ashley Davidson. Jarian Henry leads this team in assists per game and steals, and is also one of the players that does a lot of the dirty work in the paint. He's second on the team in rebounds per game, averaging just under 7, and averages also over 10 points a game. So does a bit of everything, and just giving some wise words of advice and staying on the sideline, staying busy on the sideline.
If you're a Jags fan, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see a tight-knit team like that where players are sitting on the bench because of injury, but they're still staying involved. They're coaching up their teammates. They see things that the guys on the floor can't always see. It's awesome to have a player coach.
Robinson to Burdett. Inside, teardrop shot falls. Burdett, everything in the bag is working today for Davion. Hancock's pulls up, but can't hit. Burdett there for the rebound. Burdett's third rebound of this game. Robinson gets defenders in the air, finds Johnson, and he puts it in.
This is exactly what Jarian Henry was talking about during that interview, moving the ball around and trying not to make the crazy flashy pass, but making the right pass to the right guy. Davion Johnson getting 2 easy ones down low thanks to L.J. Robinson.
Johnson leads the Jaguars with 21 points, and Hancock's fires and can't connect on the 3. Troy Mix there to snatch the rebound. Leslie up the floor. Inside, Johnson swarmed. Out to Leslie, puts it up. It won't go. Hancock's collects the miss. Kyle attacks down the baseline. Out to Gutierrez. His 3's off the mark. Kyle able to snatch down the rebound, goes up with it, and draws a foul.
Big one right there. That'll be the 5th foul on Troy Mix Jr. He had those arms up, but he brought one down, trying to get a swipe at the ball. And timed poorly for Mix, but timed well for Kyle. Got it right on his way up. Easy whistle for the officials. So now with under 10 minutes to go, still plenty of time left here for the Sun Devils to keep making runs. And Troy Mix Jr. is up to 15 points, but also up to 5 fouls.
He's talking to someone in the stands right now about his positioning. Just letting him know, just pleading his case that did whatever he could to not draw that foul, as Johnson Jr. subs in for him. Now DeMonte Kyle at the charity stripe has 18 points. Here's his first attempts at the free throw line. Averaging 15 a game this season for the Sun Devils as they get the offensive rebound. Kyle out to Gutierrez. Open 3. No good. Over to Johnson Jr. Now to Robinson. Inside. Finger roll won't go. Kyle leads the attack over to Slinger. Slinger inside, denied by Johnson Jr. Wow. Slinger thought he had the advantage, but Johnson Jr. climbs the ladder to send that one out of here.
Well, standing at 6'10", Slinger, if you're that big, you just cannot stand to get rejected by Micah Johnson Jr., listed at 6'5". He's Burdett picks this one off.
Inbound right to Burdett. Numbers 4, Willamette Valley. Robinson nearly lost it, saves it, gives it to Johnson Jr., and he puts it in. Slinger down the floor. Tries to find Kyle in the corner, but a miscommunication.
What a minute for Micah Johnson Jr. The block on the big man. Gets the 2 points on the other end, finishing the 1-on-3, and then hustles all the way back to force the turnover from Slinger. Just excellent basketball right now for Micah Johnson Jr. And we talked about it earlier, a guy that hasn't had the biggest scoring impact today, but he's making himself felt in every other facet of the game.
It's turnover number 16 for the Sun Devils, as Hancock's is able to get, that's the Jaguars who get 2 points right back. And now Sanchez inside. Sun Devils leading scorer gets that one high and gets it to drop. Leslie around a couple screens. Launches but can't hit. Sun Devils have not gone away. Sanchez into the lane, flips it up, and will head to the the free throw line.
Caught the Jaguars defenders up in the air. Got him on that defensive slide, not positioned well. And Josh Sanchez is really having himself a day. Not the most efficient from the floor, 9 for 20, but he's been 4 for 6 from 3. He's really been a great threat from beyond the arc for the Sun Devils so far. And leading scorer in this whole game, chance to push it up to 24 or 25 points with these 2 free throws.
Leads the Sun Devils with 4 made threes. And this will be just his 4th attempt at the free throw line. So majority of his points come behind the arc. This to make it 3 of 4 at the charity stripe. Shooting just over 58% at the free throw line this year. He goes 2 of 2. Burdett to engineer the offense for the Jaguars. With 21 points today, over to Johnson, who also has 21. Now Hansen recovers. Johnson, Burdett, pump fakes, takes his time. 5 to shoot. Retreats, dances, steps back. Way off the mark, and a shot clock violation.
Well, good defense right there from Bryson Wild. Hasn't played a ton in this game. Just under 5 minutes so far on the court, but he switched well right there and stepped up, kept the face in the hand of Burdett, who's been really on today, up to 21 points, tied for Tavion Johnson with the Jaguars' lead in scoring. So great awareness.
Just over 7.5 to play. Long range 3 won't go. Fight for the rebound, won by Burdett. Double teamed, nearly lost it. And there's a signal. They say it's going to the Sun Devils. They say Burdett did lose it out of bounds. Good double team there from Tri-Cities. Kyle, defended by Johnson. Dancing. Robinson switches onto him. Out to Wild for 3. No good. And Johnson there. Hansen to lead the charge. Former Sun Devil. Puts it up. And it won't go. Johnson Jr. climbs the ladder for the offensive board. Burdett gets downhill. Inside. It won't go. That one heads out of bounds. Last touched by Micah Johnson Jr. Great effort, but couldn't collect it. Mandatory timeout, the first of the 4th quarter. So we step aside. A double-digit advantage for the Jaguars, and the Sun Devils have something to say about it here in the final 7 minutes of play. The Jaguars have led by as much as 19. They've done that twice in this game. But the Sun Devils have hung around in this one and kept this one close. And both these teams are very familiar with close games, especially when they duke it out against each other. The Sun Devils as a team have had 5 games this season decided by 4 points or less. They have a 2-3 record in those games. One of those wins was against the Willamette Valley on Wednesday in a 4-point win. It was the Sun Devils' first win over the Jaguars in franchise history. And then, of course, the Jaguars' home opener against the Tri-City Sun Devils, a 102-95 win. A comeback win for the Jaguars where they took the lead in the final 7 minutes of that one. We're not within single digits yet, but this has been a tight contest, back and forth energetically. Both teams with runs as Johnson trying to create one of his own.
Tavion Johnson, just one miss from the floor so far today, 10 for 11 from the court, and he has just been money.
This one nearly ripped by Johnson. Gutierrez gets it back and floats it in.
Good recovery right there from the Sun Devils. They had Micah Johnson Jr. and Tavion Johnson crashing down.
Robinson underneath, hangs in the air, gets it in the foul.
LJ Robinson, such a crafty finisher in the air, makes all the adjustments he needs to embrace the contact and finish through it. Earns one more shot at the line.
Previously played for the Reading Rebels out in Pennsylvania in the basketball league, and of course played for the Willamette Valley Jaguars last year. He also spent some time in the Chinese basketball league this year before coming back to the States. Was on the roster for the Superhawks and only played in 1 game for the Seattle Superhawks, who are now in the U.S. Basketball League. This one lobbed for Slinger inside, and it ends up in the hands of Hansen. Quickly down the floor, Johnson Jr. And he draws a foul. Tough contact there and a tough fall, but he'll look to add more points for the Jaguars at the free throw line.
Well, Hancock's on his way back up, had a brief conversation with the officials, and didn't last too long, but I'm not quite sure how he could dispute that one. Showing him straight up arms right now, but it's not what he showed Micah Johnson Jr. on the contest attempt. Lots of contact there. And good on Micah Johnson Jr. for really earning his shots at the line today. This will be 3 and 4.
Jaguars are coming off of a game where they shot 84% at the free throw line on Wednesday, which is a season best. And today, shooting 12 of 20. Good for 60%. As this one's tipped by Burdett, and he comes away with it. Johnson Jr. puts it down. Just what the Jaguars needed to wake up the crowd, and this one's thrown right to Burdett. Burdett, tried to go behind the back, but it's right to Gutierrez. And now Hansen tried to come away with that one, but Coach Orange calls timeout at the perfect time, and we will step aside. What a punch for Micah Johnson Jr. And the Jaguars back to their largest lead. The 3rd time they've led by 19 points today as we enter the final 5 minutes here on CBL TV and Next Move Radio. Back to a 19-point lead. Matches the largest lead of this game for Willamette Valley. Yet they had their first halftime lead at home this season. They led by 15 after the first half. Kyle regathers, 6 to shoot. Attacks, tries to leave it off for Slinger, but it heads out of bounds. Sun Devils with their 20th turnover of the day. Been a little bit too aggressive with some of those passes. Burdett to Hansen. Around a screen, puts it up. And it won't go. Hansen, the only Jaguar who hasn't scored today. Lakes. Over to Kyle. And he draws a foul as he gets inside. Now to Monte Kyle for free throw number 13 and 14 for Tri-Cities. Next on the first, shooting over 75% as a team today. Kyle. Now 2 of 4. Give him 19 points on the night. Sanchez leads the Sun Devils with 27. Now Burdett dancing, spinning, leaning, and hitting.
Davion Burdett really having himself a night, and this is going to be huge for the Jaguars as they assess some of their other scoring options besides stars like Preston Whitfield and L.J. Robinson getting into the playoffs.
25 points, which is by far a career high for Burdett. As Robinson trying to get into the scoring column himself. Won't connect on a 3. Gutierrez lines a 3 that won't go. And Robinson collects the miss. Burdett lobs it down the floor. Johnson Jr. collects, puts it up, almost bakes it in as it's in and out.
Well, a wide receiver catch right there from Micah Johnson Jr. Couldn't finish the highlight, but what a grab.
Hancock's tipped in the air and stolen by Hansen. The Jaguars' defensive pressure has not let up as Hansen strung to the rack. Can't get it to go, but Tavion Johnson, the trailer. A new season high for Tavion Johnson with 26 points.
What a putback from Tavo. His instincts are as good as it gets. Exactly where he needs to be, right when he needs to be there.
And Hansen still playing smothering defense. Burdett takes his time. Into the lane, high off glass, won't go. Hancock's puts it up. Off front iron, and Burdett tracks it down. Give Burdett 25 points, 5 assists, 6 assists. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals as well. Done a little bit of everything. He's gone deep into his bag of tricks, and everything has worked. As there's another timeout on the floor, the final mandatory timeout of this game, as the Jaguars have their largest lead of the day. 22 points, and we step aside on CBL TV and Next Move Radio. We're back on CBL TV and Next Move Radio. A quick timeout for both teams to reset. Usually inside the 3-minute mark is a mandatory timeout. As this one is a foul down low. Gutierrez draws the foul on Hansen on the reach-in. the 4th team foul in this quarter for the Jaguars, and Hansen's first personal. Stolen by Hansen again. Over to Johnson Jr. Leslie Ford. He hits it! The 8th three of the day for the Jaguars. And the defensive pressure is not going anywhere. It's the 16th steal of the day for the Jaguars, as Brandon Hansen has 5. He's had his hands all over this game. Inside 2 minutes to play. Ford pulls up. Way off the mark, Slinger collects. Hancock strong to the rack. Can't finish it, but a foul.
Well, strong attack. You've got 2 guards, and Josh Sanchez and Javon Hancock's just refusing to let their foot off the gas. Though it looks like most of the rest of the Sun Devils have, but Willamette Valley just keeping that defensive pressure on. And with a team like this, at a certain point, you can tell when they're having fun out on defense. And see smiles all over the place after steals and getting fast break opportunities. Brandon Hansen, Micah Johnson Jr. just creating. You saw the big 3 right there from Ford, and the whole bench going crazy. So certainly is fun to win. The Jaguars are in prime position to walk out of here with it.
And this Jaguars team, you got to think about how much has changed from this year to last year and how much they've accomplished this year compared to last. Just 1 win last year, and this season on their way, about a minute and a half away, from collecting their 3rd win on the year, their first season in franchise history with more than 1 win. Would be just their 4th win in franchise history, and in a season where they've clinched the TBL playoffs for the first time ever. Meanwhile, this Sun Devils squad, just a lot to adjust with, especially considering the trade that they had on April 20th with the Grant County Red Tails, where they gave up Kyson Rose, Donovan Sainer, and Ione Benavidez. But they do have some draft capital coming in from Grant County from that trade, as Zion Bradley now has 4 points on the day. Yeah, 1st and 2nd round picks this year and next year in the TBL drafts for the Tri-City Sun Devils in that trade for Kyson Rose and Ione Benavidez and Donovan Sainer. But 3 wins on the year, it's a big accomplishment for a team that is in their 1st year as a franchise. And also, I mean, I mentioned this earlier, pretty big accomplishment to take down the #1 team in the West Conference in the Four Bears Roar. They took them down by 1 point back on March 21st, and they did that on the road in Four Bears.
In an absolute thriller, winning on free throw attempts at a buzzer-beating 3-point attempt that was fouled. It was just a real nail-biter in that one. Super good to see wins like that in TBL. Anything can happen on any given day, and sometimes Titans like Four Bears get knocked down.
Well, the Jaguars will hope they can capture a bit of that magic as they'll head to Four Bears, North Dakota next weekend. Johnson Jr. still putting it out on full display, and so is his best friend Zion Bradley on the other end. 10 left on the clock for Tri-Cities. Slinger underneath with 2 easy points. Give him 8 points on the day. Under 6 to play. And a turnover as Johnson Jr. was shuffling the feet too much.
And you've got to appreciate the attitude from Julius Slinger. Still cheering on his team, just super excited with just a couple seconds left to play, and this one definitely out of hand. Micah Johnson Jr. gives him something to laugh about.
This might be the longest final 12 seconds of basketball ever played.
They're certainly making it a contest for it.
Hansen will launch at the buzzer, and that'll do it. 113-98, the final for the Jaguars. They get their 3rd win of the season and head into the TBL play-in tournament against the Four Bears Roar with their 3rd win of the year.
An excellent game right here today, and Willamette Valley stayed in control for really the entire game. The Sun Devils gave them a couple runs, got close at some points, but ultimately the exact outcome all the Jaguars fans here were hoping for. A win, and a win in dominant fashion. Willamette Valley looking the best they have all season, and without some of their key players as they get ready for the playoff push.
Well, that snaps an 11-game losing streak for the Jaguars. It was their longest since 2024. They improved to 3-16 overall this year, 3-7 at home, and bookend the home schedule with a win on either side against the Tri-Cities Sun Devils. Coach Barry Stade improves to 4-25 overall as a Jaguars head coach. And down on the sideline, we send it to Ashley Davidson, who's standing by with Davion Burdette right now. Thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Davion Burdette. What a stat line for Burdette. 25 points, 11 of 20 from the floor, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals, doing a little bit of everything. And I think, Devlin, the biggest takeaway from today is his performance, because we haven't seen a performance from someone like, from him this year, from someone who came from the bench, stepped into a starting role, and really stepped up.
Well, inactive to begin the year when the Jaguars had a fully healthy roster and are forced to push a couple of players to that inactive spot. But he just kept on working, worked his way into the rotation as we've seen the year go on. Has had a couple of not big games, but big moments where he stepped in and hit a 3, giving the team some sort of infusion that they needed. But today, he was the team. He was the offense. He was facilitating everything in that role that we usually see from Preston Whitfield, just running the offense. And Coach Stade gave him the keys, and he drove it off today.
4 Jaguars reached double figures. Tavion Johnson leads the way with a season-high 26 points and a very efficient 11 of 12 from the floor for the Sun Devils. Josh Sanchez leads the Tri-Cities squad with 34 points, and DeMonte Kyle with 21 of his own. Tri-Cities ends the 2026 season 3-12 overall, 1-7 on the road, and drop their final game of the regular season and will look to regroup before 2027 in their second year as a franchise. A lot of people to thank for making this broadcast possible, to our entire crew, to our camera operators, John Strow, Ronald Bechet, and Carson Thomas. It's been an incredible season. Thank you to all of the people who helped us with our broadcast this year. To Emmett Burris, our director, it's been an absolute pleasure. You've been such a rock holding things down, being a technical director, a graphics operator, and a director as well. We're such a happy family. We love it up here. To Callie Silvers Honley for helping us out with stats. She's our lead statistician, one of the best in the basketball league. To Ashley Davidson, our sideline reporter. To, of course, head coach Mary Stade for helping us put all of this on. Season would not be possible. To all the players this year, it's been an absolute pleasure. So many people to thank and not enough time. And, of course, to Devlin Christensen for doing a little bit of everything, putting up this banner. This banner, you guys can't really see it in a lot of our games, but Devlin works very hard to put that up every game.
I've been going through it with this banner for every home game, and I'm glad that it resulted in a couple of Jaguars wins for us.
Well, 3 wins on the year. That's how the Jaguars finish it. And 113-98 the final against the Tri-City Sun Devils. I'm Isaac Doobie signing off on TBL TV and Next Move Radio for the final game of the 2026 regular season.